Hey, and welcome to Converting Quadratic Functions. Today, in this video, we're going to be talking about converting from standard form to vertex form. So at the top of your sheet, you see there are two types of quadratic formulas that we already have. We have standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. And then there's vertex form, which is y equals a times 1 minus h squared plus k. Standard form is used to find the y-intercept the easiest, and vertex form is used to find the vertex very quickly. So, if we're talking about vertex form, which is our next section, hk is our vertex, and that comes directly from our equation. In that vertex form equation, the variable a represents the same thing as the a in standard form. The variable h represents the x value of the vertex, and the variable k represents the y value of the vertex. Now we're going to go into converting from standard form to vertex form. So you see standard form is what we're going to start with on the left, and we're going to end with our vertex form, which is shown on the right. So step 1, before we begin converting, we have to complete a few steps. Step 1 is to label A, B, and C, and then we'll find our axis of symmetry, which is our x value or our h value, and remember that is found using negative b over 2a. We'll solve for our y value, which is our k value. And then we'll plug it into the vertex form. So for example number 5, we want to label A, B, and C. So my A value is the coefficient of my x squared term, which is x. My b value is the coefficient of my x term, which is negative 16. And my c value is my constant, which is 27. Step 2, we're going to find the AOS, which is negative b over 2a. And we'll simply plug in my numbers that I found from my standard form equation. So we have negative b. And our b value is also negative, so I'm going to put it in parentheses, over 2 times my a value, which is 8. Negative times negative 16 is positive 16. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 divided by 16 is 1. So my axis of symmetry is going to be my h value of my vertex. So h equals 1. Now for step 3, to find my k value, I'm going to take my original problem and plug in my x value of my vertex, or my h value, back into my problem. So 8 times 1 squared minus 16 times 1 plus 27. So you have 8 times 1 squared minus 16 times 1 plus 27. You'll type that into your calculator exactly as you see it, and it's going to give you a k value of 19. So my k value is 19. Remember, that's also the y value of my vertex. Now, last but not least, to finish out this problem, we just plug it into vertex form. So vertex form is y equals my a value, x minus h squared plus k. We'll replace my a value with what it is from my original equation, which is 8. We'll replace my h value with 1, and my k value is going to be replaced with 19. So converting from standard to vertex form, You're just following these steps and then plugging it into your form at the end. So that is my final answer. We're going to go down to example 6 and try this again. So step 1 was to find A, B, and C. My A value here is 1, my B value is 6, and my C value is -4. Next, we'll find our axis of symmetry, which is -b over 2a, and I'll plug that in. Negative times 6 over 2 times a, which is -6 over 2, which gives me -3. And remember, that is my h value. Next, we'll find my k value by plugging in my h value or my x value to my original problem. So instead of x, we'll have -3 squared plus 6 times -3 minus 4. You can plug that directly into your calculator. And it should give you -13. Remember, the purpose of plugging that in was to find my k value. And last but not least, we'll plug this back into vertex form and have my final answer. So y equals a, which is 1, x minus -3, my h value, squared, plus my k value of -13. We all know that we never write minus a negative, so that will change to just a plus. And we won't write plus a negative either. We'll just write minus. And that will be my final answer. Moving on to number 7. We'll start out the same way again, where A, we'll find our A, B, and C. My A value is -1, my B value is 8, and my C value is -12. Next step is to find my axis of symmetry using the formula -b over 2a, where b is 8 and a is -1. So we have -8 over -2, which gives me +4 for my h value. Now we will find my k value by plugging into my original equation, my standard form equation. So -4 squared plus 8 times 4 minus 12. And notice when I plug in the 4 each time, no matter what, I'm putting it in parentheses, so when I plug it into my calculator, it reads it correctly. -(4) squared plus 8 (4) minus 12 gives me an answer of 4 for my k value. And now I will finish up this problem by plugging it into vertex form. So y equals my a value, x minus my h value, plus my k value, which is 4. And that is my final answer. Take a couple of minutes and try number 8 and number 9 and come back to check your answers. All right, welcome back to converting from standard form to vertex form. We have number 8 and number 9 finished at the bottom. Pause the video here to check your work for number 8. And again, pause your video here to check your work for number 9.